Okay, it's the 12th of January, it's Thursday. This is our second video. Hopefully this one's going to be better, and hopefully I'm going to show you some things on here later on in the video that I use to try to figure out the weather, and I'm going to try to show you how I do it. All right, so let's get to the weather. Now this is there's rain, we all know, coming up, and this is Saturday and around midday, and you can see a low pressure down here. If it were to move up the right way, we would have a pretty decent snow in Pennsylvania. Right now most models are showing it off the coast. I'll give you an idea why we still don't want to count this thing out completely. Now this is Friday night, and this shows you the first low is now moved up to here, and these little, you see all these little L's, they're not all separate storms, they're just different plots from different models. Same thing down here, different plots from different models, but you kind of see where the middle of it is at, and that kind of is when you're trying to predict, you kind of go with that, unless you see some analogs like I do from years past that maybe show something different. But right now this is what this is showing, and unfortunately this is showing it out too far. But the thing is if we were to get one of these through here and it comes like this, well, then all of a sudden you have yourself a snowstorm. So that's what I'm trying to point out. Now what I'm trying to show you here, these oranges and darker colors here, this is again warm water. Along the coast, you can see it's colder, but very close to the coast. But overall, any storm that's out here coming up is going to follow the warm water. This is the way it is. It's like food, you know, it's going to follow it. So unfortunately, or fortunately, it's going to blow up and be a big storm, but it looks like if it's going to come up the way it's saying, you're going to get, you know, this way, where the snow is going to be up here heavier going this way. And then once it blows up, then it'll throw snow in up in here, which doesn't help Pennsylvania at all. But there is possibility, and there is models that do show some snow in Pennsylvania, right along the southeastern 995 corridor, but just a dusting. Okay, so these are the plots for Saturday in the evening and at night, and you can see it. Most of them have the storm off the coast too far to affect Pennsylvania. There's some models that bring it in, but again, most models this far out have a tendency to be too far east, and they do move west. So that's why I'm on the alert for this, that maybe something happens, and that's why I'm showing it to you. Now you're looking, see the snow right in here. This snow that falls here is on the edge of the snow pattern, and so it's like, you see, these are tenths of an inch. It's barely going to cover. If it sticks to the ground, you're lucky. But as you can see, once it gets up here, it blows up, like I said, and there's a bigger storm. This is all lake effect back here. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't take much. It only taken maybe 75 to 100 mile east or west movement of the storm, and then you have a 995 snow. But I'm not really 100% behind that one, but it's there. Now this map is where we're at right now, and you can see the temperatures were warmer in the beginning of the month, and they're beginning to tilt down a little bit. But basically for Pennsylvania, the 10-day average is going to be normal to a little bit below normal across the state. The whiter colors are normal, and mostly reason for this is because of moisture and clouds will bring the temperatures down a little bit down in the south. But as you can see, there's where all the rain's at. That'll change. That's going to go away shortly, right around the 20th. It'll dry out down there, then they won't get anything, and then they can start recovering, and then we have to look on our side of the country for storms. As we get towards the end of the month, the temperatures in Pennsylvania are below normal south to about normal north. If you look over here, you can see, and this is a path of snow, or storm, I should say. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but it's a path of a storm that could come up the coast, and that would help to keep the temperatures down. We're gonna slowly go from where we're at now into colder temperatures and back into winter basically. This is like we're going through the January thaw this month so far. It's a little early for it. Usually it's mid-month, but it started a little early after that big cold snap around the holidays. So it takes time for things to go. The Manna-Julian oscillation has to come back around, and that's what it's doing right now. And this is just a quick showing of the next 30 days, about the 25th through the 25th of February, below normal. You can see along the coast here, and even the northern part, which was normal, is now below normal too. Pretty much the whole country is going to be below normal, normal to below normal, for the next 30 days, from the 25th or so to the 25th of February. So that's the month that we usually get some snow. And I just want to show you real quick here. This is your February, March, and April outlook temperature-wise from normal, and you can see we're still below normal for that whole time period. Northeastern part into Canada is much below normal, and Pennsylvania is below normal a degree or two than what we should be for that time of the year. So cold air isn't going to be completely gone. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have a warm day, but it depends when air is coming from the south with a storm or something. But overall, that's your average. Okay, now comes your education, things that I look at. There's a thing called Manna-Julian oscillation, which is the MJO, and it has 8 phases that it's done. And what that is it's a rotating, and I'll show you that in the middle, pressures that go around the earth, and moisture that goes around the earth and just keeps circling the earth. And depending on where it's sitting is what phase you're in. So computer models, everybody, the Euro, the US model, the Canadian model, everybody has their own. Even Australia, everybody has their own MJO readouts for their area. For the United States, we're going into 8 slowly this month, and 8 is in the blue color, is much colder. When you come out of 8, you go into 1, and then that's cold 2. You get into 2, that's cold. 3's cold, and you got to get into 4, 5, 6, and 7 for temperatures to be above average. Now, the thing rotates, and each day there's a plot where it's at, and sometimes it lasts a long time, and sometimes it goes into a warm phase, it circles back around and goes into a cold phase. As for right now, we kind of went into these phases, and that's why we've been warm, and we're moving down through here, and it's not as, see how warm it is there, now it's not as warm there, and then it goes into this where it goes below, and that's where we're headed. So I just wanted to show you that. And precipitation wise, this is just general, but the green areas are for much above normal moisture, and the other areas are normal to maybe dry. But it doesn't mean you're not going to get something. It just means that that's what usually happens overall. And as you can see, warm phases 4, 5, 6, and 7. You got some rain, even 3, and that's the one I look for. That means the temperatures are getting close to normal, still below normal, and then the moisture tends to pick up. And that's kind of where I always watch to see if there's going to be a big storm. But we're going to be going from 8 into 1, and we got to see if we can get something coming around here and coming up the coast. So this is the Manna-Julian oscillation from the CFS model, V2, and we're right in here, as you can see. Let's see if I can get it. We're right around 7 going into 8, and then it's going to kind of hang around, which it's not the coldest phase, but it's colder. And then here's, as we get down here to the 19th and the 20th, we start to go into number 1 phase, and then that's when it'll get colder. And then when it gets from 2 to 3, that's where I'm looking for a possible storm through here when it goes into this. And you'll see it kind of goes around, gets into 3 in the middle of, towards the middle of February here, around the 9th, 8th, and it's still in the colder phase. All these little squiggly lines you see here are just other plots from other models, and this is the central point where they think things are going to go. And if you look, there's only, as close as you can look, you can see there's really only one that goes way out in the 4, and everything else looks like it wants to turn and go back. So that's what I look for, and that's what I watch when those models come out. Now these are the phases that happen. Now we're in 8, and this is cold. Here's your pressures out here where there's a lot of moisture. Cyclones can happen in here and things like that. You have to watch for those things. It goes from 8, it goes into 1, Still over here, not a lot of action, but once it gets into 2, it starts to affect us. 3, and then you can see 4 and 5. It rotates, but you can see as it rotates around, it goes this way, and then it goes this way. So that's what I follow, and that's how the Mann-Julian oscillation works. And this is the GFS model showing a snowstorm, which I said to you I begin to look at, and this is around the 27th, 26th, 27th. It would be right on time, and the GFS model shows that. And so we just keep an eye out for that and see if this is what's going to happen. And this is what I kind of try to show you sometimes. It's, hey, this is on the table. It's not guaranteed, but I look ahead. That's what I'm all about. If you want the weather for tomorrow and tonight, you're going to turn TV on. I'm looking and studying things and trying to figure out long-term what's possible. And I kind of alert you to that. So, okay, talked enough. Hope this helped you out. Hope this works. Subscribe to this, like it. I'm going to post this on Facebook tonight, just because I'm trying to get people to see exactly what's going to be going on. I'm still going to do the weather on Facebook, but it's not going to be this in depth. This is already 11 minutes already, so I'm talking my brains out. But I'm trying to help. I'm trying to show you what it's about. I'm trying to do my best. And you criticize the local TV stations, but they got to be careful. They can't stick their neck out there and call for something and it don't happen, because then their ratings go down. So I can take a chance here, and I can tell you what I think and try to beat them to the point. Okay, this is Fred. Go on Facebook and tell them what you think of it. People think of it so that they can read it, and then maybe we can get some more people to join up on Facebook, or on YouTube, I should say. Sorry, I get these things mixed up in my head. But the more people I get on YouTube, I think at somewhere around 1,000 people, I make $5, something like that. It's weird, but we hit the like button and things like that when you're there. All right, this is Fred. Bored you enough. Take it easy. I'll talk to you tomorrow.